Of course, we come up with rank lists so we can test them in cellular or slash cultures. But what we mostly do is we actually go straight into mice because it's hard to model this in a cell culture and any other model because we really don't know how the factor interacts with the brain. So we like to obtain these proteins in recombinant form, inject them into wild-type mice and explore what effects they might have. And this is what's shown here. He selected a number of different factors. I showed you 4 of them. 2 have no effect on his use of the screen. You see false expression in his again. But you can see 2 of these factors. One is called CSF2 and the other one is called TIM2. So significant effects on C-false expression on recombinant delivery. And he used here a paradigm where he injected these factors in recombinant form IP 4 times. Just a couple of words. CSF2, also called common stimulating factor 2, or also known as GM-CSF. This is actually an FDA-approved drug that is given to individuals who get a bone marrow transplant because it's a very powerful trophic factor for the myeloid cell lineage, including probably microglial cells as well. So it's in the clinic, it's being used. It was previously described by Huntington Potter because he argued that immune cells get dysfunctional with aging and with Alzheimer's disease. And so he tested a number of these common stimulating factors and found CSF2 to be most potent in improving cognition in these Alzheimer's mouse models and also reversing amyloid load. So in a way, this is almost like a validation of our approach. This was one of our top hits, and it had been previously implicated to do exactly what we were trying to find to improve cognitive function, maybe even have a benefit in a model of neurodegenerative disease. And there's in fact a phase 2 clinical trial conducted by Sanofi again in Alzheimer's disease with this factor. So really for the last few slides, I want to show you the factor that Joe chose to follow up on, and I have to admit I was not too enthusiastic initially when he said he wanted to pursue this factor, but I think he was absolutely right, and it could be really exciting what he discovered with this factor. So TIM2 stands for tissue inhibitor of metalloproteinase. This is a protein that regulates the activity of proteases. Now, why would that be important? Most of these factors that I showed you, growth factors, such as TNF, NGF, but throughout the body, they're often produced as propeptides, so they're inactive, and it requires a cleavage by protease that then makes them render them active. And this cleavage, this protease activity is controlled by protease inhibitors. So in a way, all of these factors are part of this intercellular communication, if you will, in the extracellular space. And TIM2 is one of these regulators of this protease activity. So it decreases with age in plasma and in the brain. I'll show you a little bit of data. It penetrates the blood-brain barrier. This was a very successful collaboration with Michelle James in radiology. And then systemic administration can enhance cognition, and depletion in plasma actually worsens cognition. So we saw previously the genes that Matthias produced. Luckily for us, there was actually a mouse available also. This mouse drives a recorder under the TIM2, under control of TIM2. And you can see here, if I zoom in on the hippocampus, there's a very interesting distribution of cells in the eye that express TIM2. And when Joe actually looked how they change with age, he could find an antibody that is specific, that did not stay in knockout brains. And with age, you see actually a loss of expression in these neurons that is following up now. What are these neurons exactly doing, and are they actually being lost? But TIM2 expression decreases here in these specific neurons. TIM2 also decreases in plasma. That's how we discovered it. So it decreases in the periphery and in the brain. And when you, there's a lot of different data that he produced, but I'll just show you a couple here. And physiological recordings from slices of the hippocampus. And these are LCP recordings here on slices in granule neurons. And you see how this factor TIM2, when it's injected in recombinant form systemically into old mice, maintains LTP here very nicely as compared to control. And he actually finds the same if he inhibits TIM2 activity in a young slice with an antibody. What's probably most exciting is if he now takes cord plasma, which I showed you can improve learning and memory in old mice, and he specifically depletes TIM2, he loses almost all of the effect of this cord plasma, as you can see here. So this is what I showed you before. Mice that are treated with cord plasma, or with cord plasma that was depleted with a control antibody, so just incubated with a control antibody, or then if he depletes TIM2 by 95 or 99% actually with a column, he loses the beneficial effect of cord plasma, suggesting that this is a factor that is both sufficient and potentially necessary, at least in this model, to confirm part of the circulating effect that he observed. So to summarize and conclude, development and aging result in prominent changes in secreted signaling proteins, what we like to call the communicome, sort of the proteome of cellular communication factors in plasma. The old mouse and its brain in particular are malleable and can be rejuvenated. I think that is really probably the main discovery from Randall's lab and others, that tissues at multiple different tissues can be moved towards a younger age at multiple levels, molecular, subcellular, cellular, and functional levels. Young blood factors can reverse aspects of aging, old blood factors seem to accelerate them, and then circulatory plasma factors from human umbilical cord can ameliorate cognitive deficits in aged mice, and CSF and TIM2 are 2 example factors. And just to put this in perspective of what we think might happen in the end here, I'm getting really very speculative. But you're of course all aware of genetic reprogramming of somatic cells with the gamma knockout factors. So there you can take a cell from an old organism, you can reprogram it, and you arrive at a cell that has H0, that starts from scratch. So RNA may be doing something similar with multiple factors that are present in the plasma of a young organism that stimulate not one specific pathway, but maybe multiple pathways. And that's maybe what Joe found with TIM2, that it's actually many growth factors. It's not the one factor, remember, it's an inhibitor of metalloproteinase, but that it controls many factors that are involved in maintaining tissue health. And so maybe what we do is we do some level of epigenetic programming of different cell types in different tissues. So this is the work of a lot of different people, and I didn't have time to tell you about all the different projects that are going on, and again with different labs here at Stanford that makes a lot of fun to explore this. Thank you very much.
We have time for a few questions. Get your hands up. That'd be great. We have one here in the center.
Has anybody in your lab considered, for example, injecting soluble receptors for eotaxin or beta microglobin to sort of lock those things up and see what the effect was on aging mice?
Yeah, that's a great question. So basically neutralizing aging factors, that's definitely something that we're interested in. We haven't done it for these 2 particular factors in the periphery, but we did it by injecting them in the brain, and you can indeed reduce some of the detrimental effects. Joe did it for TIM2 by showing that it's a necessary factor, and so it's sort of the opposite. Yeah.
Hey, I have 2 questions. Can I ask both of them? Sure. Sweet. Okay, so the first one, the last slide that you showed with removing GIND, can you talk a little bit more about what kind of thresholding we see? Because if you have to remove 90% of that for it to go back to baseline, there's a nice linear relationship, or say a lot of convolution with other potential signaling pathways. What does that look like? That's
titrated out. So this is probably what you want to see. And then how does that change the whole network of different factors? We really don't know that yet. But we have done some proteomic profiling of the leftover. Now, so just step back. We've done the same experiment where we just inject antibody into a wild type young mouse to see whether that reduces cognitive function, and it seems to do that. So suggesting that it's necessary. But then the other experiment that I showed is taking the benefits of blood anti-bleeding, and there you can change only that factor. We don't think that you could precipitate out a lot of other factors. Of course, if you get neutralizing antibody into the mouse over several days or weeks, you change, of course, a lot of different factors to that. So yeah.
Number two, I think you said that. When are we going to start seeing this in people?
Yeah, good question. I'm working hard in trying to see if we can do something against hair loss. But we're trying to do this in Alzheimer's patients right now. So as I mentioned, we started a company and Hellcast, which is funded to basically take its first level, which is use young plasma, and test it in Alzheimer's patients. And that trial is actually running here in neurology. Sharon Straw directed now, and I think we hope to wrap it up this year. But the second trial is already planned with more controlled plasma, young plasma, that is collected from plasmapheresis in a much larger scale. But really, I think Alzheimer's may not be the best indication, and we really need to find out what is the best potential target to test this concept.
Should I get a question over here?
Question and comments. So first question, exercise is shown, I'm pretty sure in humans, and I've seen for all things, and most of the exercising, they tend to look younger longer. I know in humans that tends to be the case, and if you look at factors and what overlaps in that, you know, I think with Alzheimer's, those people show clinical trials that are pretty far along, and probably are you need to look for probably the people who are just showing symptoms. Unfortunately, they're probably less desperate to do something research-wise. So yeah, great question. So regarding exercise, I'm glad you're asking this question because I wanted to show this first, but I just couldn't talk fast enough in one way. I'm from a party section where people are known to spot this slowly, so I really have to try hard to get you copy before I spread. Anyway, exercise seems to, as you said, increases neurogenesis, has a lot of benefits in rodents. It's very well documented. Increases genes in office and plasticity. And Mark Bentley, a graduate student who left since, and Suri Miguel, who is still a postdoc in the lab, they actually could show that you can exercise mice, you can take young mice, you take their plasma, and you inject it into non-exercise mice, and you can reproduce the beneficial effects on cognition, not on cognition, on neurogenesis. So all you need is a young student who exercises, and then you have a good supply of young factors. I agree that Alzheimer's disease may be a very complicated target, but what we could also look at is just at frailty and sort of other aspects of cognition in people who are not yet at the clinical diagnosis of Alzheimer's.
I have a similar question to the whole vaccine. Do you think by this again, are there any more set of proteins? Is there any similarity in the set of proteins that play an important role?
Hair you mean? Hair has been done in rats. I mean, in the early days when they started, you don't want to know what they did. But they were controlled studies that mainly looked at radiation damage. Huge cohorts of rats that were easily radiated and then paired with young animals. And then the study benefits, the pairs then live almost a normal life. Non-rodents, not to my knowledge. Yeah. There's some in zebrafish, but just at the initial embryo level. I saw a paper. Really exciting stuff. I'm wondering, for example, in injecting some plasma into older mice, how long do these effects last? Is it permanent through reprogramming, or does it sort of zero out after a while? Yeah, that's a really great question, which again we have not answered yet. We're doing epigenetic analysis now and look at different time points of the treatment. We're also doing a neurogenesis study and see how long the effects last. I don't have results yet. I don't think they last very long. Also, some of the changes are clearly at the cellular, subcellular level, and they can't just disappear very quickly. But I think if you translate that into a treatment, you would probably maintain individuals on a regular treatment regimen like you have with antibodies or other biologics where you see them once a month or something like that.
Okay. Since you mentioned Switzerland, I cannot help but ask the question. From 80 years ago, Paul Evans started injecting human beings, very wealthy human beings, with extract of fetal lamb.
Yes.
And they all flocked to Switzerland, saying they were rejuvenated. What do you think of that?
Has no scientific basis. No, but people do it. Yeah, they still do it. I was just saying they already do this. No, not too stupid, but it was brought up. But it was brought up again, yeah.
All right, well, we'll have to wait and see what happens for humans with scientific basis. Thank you, Tony. For more, please visit us at stanford.edu. Stanford University.
Okay, so I'm not Ann Harmon. Ann had to leave this morning on a family emergency that she had to deal with, and so I will close us here with just a few remarks. First of all, thanks to all 6 of our fantastic speakers today. I think this symposium really captured what SNI is about in the sense of the breadth of topics that we have to consider with the nervous system and that the nervous system is important for. I mean, Connie's made the point beautifully today that the molecular revolution